She was crowned Miss Langata Prison. But behind the crown was a crime that shocked the nation. How did a beauty queen end up on death row? In 2015, 21-year-old Ruth Kamande made headlines after she stabbed her boyfriend, Fareed Muhammad. She stabbed him 25 times in their Buru home. The incident followed an alleged confrontation after she discovered love letters from other women. Ruth claimed it was self-defense, but prosecutors painted a different picture, a premeditated act of rage. Under Kenyan law, self-defense must be proportionate. 25 stab wounds raised serious doubts. The excessive force was seen as evidence of intent to kill.
After considering all these factors, I find that the only sentence to pass in this case is death. I'm therefore sentenced the accused person to death as prescribed by the law. She has a right to appeal against the conviction and sentenced within 14 days.
The court was told
Actions were
September
deliberate and
2015.
chilling. Her calm behavior after the killing, allegedly locking the door and denying neighbors access, was also damning. Kenya still retains the death penalty for capital offenses like murder. Though executions are rare, death sentences carry immense weight and often lead to life imprisonment. Can trauma justify murder? Ruth's lawyers thought so. They argued she was a victim of repeated abuse. But the law demanded more than just a claim. Kamande's defense team appealed the death sentence and pushed for recognition of battered woman syndrome, a psychological condition seen in victims of prolonged abuse. They argued Ruth acted in a state of mental distress, not malice. Battered woman syndrome, BWS, is recognized in some jurisdictions as a mitigating factor in crimes committed by abuse survivors. In Kenya, however, there is limited legal precedent or guidelines on its use in criminal defense. She asked for empathy. The court gave her the law. The Supreme Court just closed the door on Kenya's biggest gender violence defense debate. In April 2024, the Supreme Court dismissed Ruth Kamande's final appeal. The judges ruled that her actions were not consistent with self-defense or provoked trauma. The court emphasized that there was no medical or documented evidence of past abuse from Fareed. The ruling set a significant precedent. Kenya's highest court reaffirmed that claims of abuse must be backed by documentation, medical records, or witness testimony. Emotional trauma alone, without proof, isn't enough to overturn a murder conviction. Was this justice, or a missed opportunity to protect abused women? The country remains split. Ruth's case ignited nationwide debate. Some called her a victim of a patriarchal system, blind to the trauma women endure in silence. Others stood by the verdict, emphasizing due process and the need to uphold rule of law regardless of gender. This case highlighted the urgent need for Kenya to update its laws around gender-based violence, trauma psychology, and mental health in criminal defense. But for now, Ruth Kamande will continue serving her sentence, not as a beauty queen, but as a convict whose plea for empathy clashed with the cold walls of law. What do you think? Was justice served? Should Kenya recognize battered woman syndrome in court? Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Laws of the Land, where justice meets reality.